What is up? Thursday Night Thoughts. It's holding its spread. Zargo's going to be here in just a second. I want to make sure everything's going well with him. Welcome into Nuke the House. We got Spread in the house. Hello, Spread. How are we today?
Man, Holden, I'm excited to be here. Your professional demeanor always shines through, and I emulate to ever host shows as well as you do.
Yeah, well, look at Zargo in the background. He's like, no, that's not true. Don't do that. What's up, Zargo? How are you, man? Zargo's frozen.
Already. We're off to a great start.
It might be you and me then. Hey,
Yeah.
Here's the deal. For those of you that are just joining us for the first time, welcome in. NukeTheHouse.com. You can get a free 1-week subscription if you'd like. You might as well try it. It's free. Go to NukeTheHouse.com. Click on the subscribe button. Make sure you sign up for a monthly package only. We are not going to charge you. Type in the code NUKENFL, NUKENFL, and you will get your free week that way. Yeah, I had a chance to talk to Spread before the show started. And as you're not 50 yet, are you, Spread?
Nope, 48.
Oh, you're getting there. Both of us in our 40s had a chance to use online dating for the first time. Congratulations. How amazing is it?
It's so much better in your 40s.
Oh,
I feel bad for the kids trying to do it.
Why?
You know, they got a lot going on for the guys that are doing it in their late 20s, early 30s. I think it's really hard. I think in your 40s, it's so much more. It's just easier. Everyone knows what they want. And if you kept yourself in shape, you're going to stand out.
No, I think that's a great point, especially when you're in your 40s, especially when you're in your 40s. But from what I remember, 20s, 30s, 40-year-old women, they all liked being with guys in their 40s on the internets, on the online dating. So congratulations. Like shooting fish in a barrel at your age.
I mean, it's a little harder for me because I don't have the great hair like you do, but I'm doing my best to making it work.
Dude, it is turning gray in a hurry. It is turning gray.
Are you gonna accept it, or are you gonna?
I totally accepted it, man. I remember when I was in my 20s, and my first fiance, she's like, "Oh boy, let me tell you something that I'm really into guys with salt and pepper," and I've never forgotten that.
Yeah, I know everyone is too, but I'm like, I don't like it. Like, I always keep my hair real short because I don't want everyone to see the gray on the sides.
Yeah. Well, we stalled long enough for Zargo, so we might as well get into this, buddy. We've got a Thursday night game tonight, Jets. And it's too bad because Zargo's the one that wrote the free article today. Your free article on This Week in Sports Betting is up too. I absolutely love that article. It is a lot of fun. If you haven't checked it out, it's free. It's up at nukethehouse.com. But we got the Jets 6.5. Well, you're getting mostly sixes around the consensus. And this dropped from like 6.5. The total basically stayed where it is, went 39, went down to 38, now up to 38.5. So, you look at these two lines spread. Do they look right to you? 38 is not a lot of points.
I think it makes sense with what both teams are going to want to do, though. I mean, both of these teams are run-based in their approach to the game. Primetime unders have been a thing for the last 5 years now. Everybody's aware of it. So I'm not surprised at all, especially because, I do like New England, spoiler alert, that's where I'm going to be going. But they have not had that much ability to throw the ball and score quickly. So you got to think that in spite of, unless it's a defensive touchdown, most of these drives are going to be long and drawn out. Could be a night to play some field goal kickers in DFS too, because there could be a lot of drives stopping short in the red area, as I heard Bill Belichick and Matt Patricia like to call it on there. They don't call it the red zone. They call it the red area. I'm going to be a Belichick disciple. That's what I call it now.
Should we be looking at kicker props tonight?
Yeah, and I think you got to play them in DFS too if you're going to build some lineups.
Oh, boy. Now I got to start looking up my kicker props. What's up, Zargo? Are you there? Can we hear you?
I am. Yeah, man. I don't know what is going on with my equipment today. Nothing wants to cooperate, but I think I'm good now and ready to rock.
That's fine, buddy. Talk to me here. You had the free article for tonight's game. Just get a broad brush. Don't give your bets out yet, but some thoughts on what's going to happen tonight with the Jets and the Patriots.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. I kind of touched on this article that it's kind of a renewing of this rivalry, right? Belichick owned the Jets for so long, but now that he's gone, I mean, these are two new teams. Really, very little is the same about them than any other matchup we've seen before. So it'll kind of be interesting to see how these coaches match up against each other. The Jets don't have, while I do have that terrible losing streak against the Patriots hanging over them. I don't think any of them are bothered by that, as this is, like I said, just something completely renewed. I haven't been impressed by what I've seen by the Jets this season, though, and I think the Patriots are playing above expectations. So I think it should be a fun one, and I'm hoping it's a little bit better game to watch than last Thursday was.
I'm not seeing any Greg the Leg kicker props, guys, but I am seeing Joey Sly over 1.5 field goals is -15, 6.5 points is what his prop is. You think Joey Sly gets 2 field goals tonight?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot, but both these teams are excellent in the red area on defense. So.
Enough with the red area. If Patricia says it, then it must be wrong. Right? If Patricia says it, it must be wrong. Hey, Zargo, you ever dip your toes in the kicker props market?
Yeah, absolutely. Normally on these Thursday night games, that over, well, it's 1.5 or 2.5, depending on what it is. It can be really good. I think we'll see that here, as I don't think these teams are very good in the red area. So what I'm seeing right now, I don't hate over two in the first half. I don't know
over
about
2
that.
field goals in the first half.
Over 2, I don't like. I was thinking it was 2+, but if we need 3, that's a stretch.
No, but I'm gonna go dig into those a little bit more. I don't see any Zerline props though, so I'm only seeing them on the side of Joey Sly, who is the kicker for the Patriots. So maybe we'll just watch go off the board.
I'd rather just take something that's like kind of like that's full game, kind of like over 2.5 in the game, something like that. Yeah. I'd prefer than picking a specific kicker's props.
All right, as always, make sure you smash the like button, and if you want to, throw your best bet for tonight in the chat. Daniel, it's always good to see you here. Jeff Stenberg, Kegs, little troll. I don't know who needs to hear this, but Jets and their fans are pathetic. Fireman Ed is a clown masquerading in a fire uniform. It's not easy to be a Jets fan. I turned in my card like 20 years ago. It's been a long, long time, my friends. And, some of my thoughts on this game. Why did you ever have a card? What?
Why did you ever have a card?
Because I was raised a Jets fan. I mean, I was born in New York. My family loved it. My first jersey was ever a Wesley Walker jersey. So
you're pretty chill for a dude who grew up in New York.
Well, I've been gone for so long. That's the whole thing. That and heavy medication is helping that as well. So here's what we got tonight. We got a Jets team that doesn't have a great pass rush now because Jermaine Johnson is out for the year. So that's a big pass rusher. They don't have Hassan Reddick too. So they're having trouble getting to the quarterback now. But on the other side, you got the Patriots and one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. I think it'll be interesting just to see if this is a ground and pound for as long as they can get away with it for the Patriots, because Brissett just is not throwing the ball downfield. And then if you go back and watch some of what the Jets have done with Aaron Rodgers, here's a guy that's just stepping back and throwing very quickly. There's no question about that. And it's also the third game in 11 days for this old guy. So I'm a little bit concerned about the Jets as well from that regard. But spread, let's get into it with you here. Again, the spread 6, 38.5 is the total. What are some of the plays you like in the Jets and Patriots tonight? A game in which Keg and I think Iowa's going to stop by too, we are going to be broadcasting live at 8:15 right here on the Nuke the House channel. Free broadcast tonight. What's up, Spread?
All right. I am excited to talk about this game here. I ended up jumping in on the Patriots at 6.5. I still think it's good at 6. It's kind of a numbers play. As I see now, when I bet it, the total was 39. It dropped to 38.5. So the half point moved. And the idea is let's just take these names out. Every time I see a total under 40 and I'm getting 6 or more, I'm probably going to take the dog here. The books are pretty good at setting these totals. If it's going to be a low-scoring game, each point becomes more and more valuable. Holden, these games are becoming harder and harder to handicap, and it actually reminds me of some of the struggles I had with the NBA this season. No longer are we missing simply one player from the lineup. A lot of times 3 to 4 players are out. It's tough to take past results and go ahead and use them to project forward. So we got to think, we got to be creative. But things I'm talking about are the injuries on both sides of the ball. For this team. It's a mess on both sides for when the Jets are going to be taking the field on offense. The Jets are missing multiple offensive linemen. I think even their backup left guard is hurt, so they're already down to their third string left guard. Their left tackle that they expected to be the left tackle for the whole season. He's out for the year, so they're on a backup left tackle already. Their starting center was on the injury report. Now it looks like he's going to play, which will be good because he's going to need some veteran help to set those protections with the new guys in there. But this team is beat up, so you're going to think, hey, the Patriots have a great job to take advantage of this. Not so fast. Their defensive line is beat up too, and the main character that I'm worried about there is missing Christian Barmore. I would be a lot more happy about having these points in my pocket if he was in the lineup. That being said, I think it's a little tougher to evaluate these teams on past performance. I know that the Patriots have looked good in their first two games against the expectations as they were able to cover the spread in both games and even win outright against Cincinnati. How much does that say about the Patriots, or how much does that say about the Cincinnati's Bengals refusal to actually start their season until October? Remains to be seen, and we'll find that out tonight. A lot of injuries here tonight, which I may think makes it a little tougher to handicap. Obviously, we know how important quarterback is, and the Jets do have the big advantage there. Regardless, I do think the Patriots will be able to find a way to run the ball, keep this close. A lot of things go on the ground. Keep that clock running and give me the 6 or the 6.5.
What do you got for us, Zargo? Because you came out with a free article today. You got a ton of plays here. Tell us exactly what you're on, who you're on, and why you're on it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so when this line opened up at 7.5, I didn't see it open at 7.5, but it did. By the time I saw it was already at 7, and I thought that number was crazy. Look, every season kind of has yet to figure out the right word to describe it, but seasons have a vibe. You know, last year, no spread was too big. You took the favorites, Dolphins, Cowboys, Ravens, 49ers. Didn't matter how big that number was. You could just bet it, teams were covering. That does not seem to be the case this season. It's all about the dogs. First 2 weeks, I was clobbered by betting favorites and losing by half a point, a point and a half. It was crazy. So it's time to recalibrate and kind of look. So coming into this week, I was already thinking we got to find the value dogs on the slate. Boom, Thursday night game, Patriots, a team that's playing well. It's being given more than a touchdown. You can bet them with more than a touchdown. That's tremendous value. So, like I said, having not been impressed by what I've seen with the Jets, I think that's an incredible opportunity. Look, Aaron Rodgers hasn't getting it done. You know, we've seen in the past he's a guy who's kind of slow to start the season, but still, like I haven't seen much from him that I've been impressed with. That late drive against the Titans was pretty nice, but they still should have lost that game. That's not really a reflection of Aaron Rodgers, but is a reflection of this team and that they're just not, a Super Bowl contender. They might sneak into the playoffs, but even still, I mean, they're looking like a one-and-done team. And with the expectations given to them, that's just not a team I want to get behind right now. So with the value you can get on the Patriots, I love it. Sitting at +6, I don't want to just be completely wrong and Aaron Rodgers kind of turn it around here. So, I took, as I like to do Thursday night games, I went the parlay route. I just went ahead and brought New England up to 10, under 45. I don't see too many points being scored in this game. We talked about it quite a few times. There's not going to be too many touchdowns. So that was kind of the way I was able to take a side. And as I touched on with Rodgers, I haven't been impressed. So I'm taking his under on passing yards. I don't think he's thrown for 200 yards yet this season, or if he did, it was like right at 200, like 201. So with his number being 215.5, I like that under. I could see an interception tonight, getting better than plus money on it. I think that's a great grab. And then my favorite play, though, is Ramondre Stevenson, right? Jacoby Brissett hasn't been a stud for New England, but their running game has been what's keeping this offense afloat. Both games, Stevenson had over 20 touches. His number tonight, 16.5. So taking over 16.5 rushing attempts is great value. His total for rushing yards is right about 60. And the Jets were able to pull Tony Pollard to about 62. So that was a little too close. I think Ramondre put up like 100 in week 1 and like 80 in week 2. So he's probably good for it. But just looking at the numbers, 16.5 attempts, I thought was far better value than taking over 62.5 yards for Stevenson.
Yep, they bumped it up by a rushing attempt from last week, where Keg had us on 15.5 and then 19.5, and he got that really, really late. But it does look like a good look at this point. And by the way, speaking of Keg, so Keg's like, we're not going to fire too many pregame bets tonight. I'm gonna get a good feel for this. We've been crushing it live. Next thing I look, we got 4 bets in the Discord right now that are for subscribers only. And again, if you want to be a subscriber and you're not one already, go to nukethehouse.com. You can get all of our picks, Keg's picks, Zargo's picks, Spreads picks, Coop's picks, everybody's picks that are behind the paywall. You'll get our live show on Sunday, which is behind the paywall as well. We're going to start putting a lot more shows behind the paywall and less free shows, but this is one of the free shows, so I'm going to pump the hell out of the website, nukethehouse.com. Free week, so you can get all our bets for tonight's game right through Sunday, right through Monday, nukethehouse.com. Make sure you click on subscribe, sign up for a monthly plan, no purchase necessary. You just got to type in the code NUKENFL, NUKENFL, and you got it. So let's see here. Tyler, he likes the crew, and he wants Spread to tell us Charbonnet take. So we'll ask about that later if I remember. Kenny Peacock, one of the sharper members that we have. Really, we got so many sharp guys. He teased the Jets to the under in this one. Okay. Maddie, our guy Maddie. Pats are going to need to score at least 15 to cover that spread. Not sure they can score that many. You think they're going to need 15 to cover the spread? Huh. Interesting. Deer Slayer's got the Jets slaying the Patriots 27-9. Maddie's got him by 10. So there you go. That's what we got. Beautiful. Anything else we'd like to add on this Thursday night games? This is Thursday night thoughts. I know you guys each have 2 games that you want to talk about on the Sunday slate, but anything else, Spread, you'd like to discuss about this game? Or are you all set?
Yeah. Final thoughts. Tyler's bringing it up in the chat right now. One tough thing about backing the Patriots is it is a new coach, first ever Thursday night football game. That isn't good. And we also know teams coming off overtime are tough. But I do think that's mitigated by the fact that, number one, like you mentioned, it's the 3rd game in 11 days for New York. So that probably helps a little bit. And to be fair, I'm not really too high on Robert Saleh overall as a coach, and definitely not high on Nathaniel Hackett. So if there's any team, that you want to break this trend against, I think it's a combination of Saleh and Hackett.
Zargo, if you got one bet, that's your best bet. Is it Stevenson or is it something else?
Yeah. I'm in the back of my mind, I am worried about, Rodgers coming into his own this game and being the guy that the Jets expect him to be. That's there. So that's kind of why I like to just stick with Stevenson. It's kind of independent of how Aaron performs. Seems like a solid bet. The one thing I would call out is if the Patriots win this game outright, which I don't think is crazy to think it could happen. I'm not making any money line bets here, but it can happen. Keep an eye on the line for the Patriots to make the playoffs. I think that could be something to if they come out looking strong in this game.
What? To make the playoffs with Jacoby Brissett in that offensive line?
The defense is getting it done. Stevenson's a stud. And there's always that last team to make the playoffs is always so sorry. And it's always a team at the beginning of the season you would never expect to be in the playoffs. And I could see the Patriots sneaking in there.
So this is interesting because there's a few different things here I'm looking at. What you're telling me then is that they would be ahead of the Jets, right? They'd be ahead of, they wouldn't be ahead of the Chiefs, but they'd be better than the Chargers, Raiders, or Broncos, Steelers, Browns, Bengals, Ravens. I mean, there's 4 teams that could finish ahead of them. Texans. The more I look at it, Titans, Jaguars, Colts look like they're in trouble, right? They're all 0-2. Mm-hmm. I know the Bengals and Ravens are 0-2. I'm not worried about them. Browns, Steelers are fine. Broncos are a complete dumpster fire. Yeah, I can't go there with you if they win tonight.
I mean, the AFC North, I definitely think could be the changing factor here, right? I mean, right now it's upside down. I don't know how that's going to end up playing out, but I could see no clue what the Dolphins are going to do the remainder of the season. So I could see Raiders, Patriots dueling it out for that last wild card slot.
Well, apparently I put the video in the wrong one. We've got 2 of them up here right now. So we're doing a live broadcast right now. What do you guys think about that? You want to just stay live through the end of the game tonight?
Is that what we're doing? Okay.
Yeah, let's just stay live to the end of the game. So I think kickoff is in 4 hours, and then add another 3 hours and 15 minutes.
This is like the Super Bowl pregame show.
Yeah, Keg will just have to redo whatever it is there.
We'll do our own top 100. We can do current.
Thanks, Johnny.
All time.
Thanks for letting us know, buddy. It's all right. It's nothing like a CEO that doesn't know which room to go into. Also, yeah, we'll be on till the end of the game, so nobody go anywhere. We're just going to do this. You're stuck for the next 7 hours, guys. I'm sorry. You okay with that now? Good. I'm glad. Real quick, Matt Smith. Pittsburgh has the best defense in the NFL as long as no injuries happen. Number one defense. I'm with you. I'm with you on Pittsburgh, man. These dudes are bad asses. The two defenses really standing out to me early, actually 3 of them, Patriots being one of them. I think the Bears and then the Steelers. These are the 2 guys. These are the 2 teams that are really got me going right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, can't argue there. It'll be interesting to see if the Patriots can keep this up, because I think as the season continues, we're going to throw that Cincinnati result out more and more. What's the coach, Zach Taylor, like 1-11 in his career over the first 2 games?
Yeah, Burrow too. Burrow isn't good in the first couple of weeks.
Well, they've been together, I think, the whole time.
Yeah, they might be able to. And Tyler's talking about a prop this weekend, Kyler over 30.5 rush yards. My only issue with Kyler right now is he's only getting 5 yards or 5 carries per game in the first 2, but he's rushing for over 11 yards per carry. So that's kind of good, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's kind of good. Okay, we're going to move on to the Sunday slate now. Zargo wants to talk about the Giants-Browns. Spread wants to talk about Raiders-Panthers as well, and then Saints and Eagles. Zargo, you want the Panthers. Everybody wants the Raiders and the Panthers. We're all targeting that game this weekend, so that'll be pretty interesting. Okay, gentlemen, got to tell people about the site again. Thumbs up, like button, smash it. If you're watching on X, come on over to YouTube. Sign up and subscribe to the Nuke the House YouTube channel. That'd be wonderful. Don't forget to turn on the notifications. If you want that 1 free week, Nuke NFL, Nuke NFL, go to nukethehouse.com, sign up monthly plan, and you get that. Okay, Zargo, let's get into your first game that you're interested in talking about on Sunday. We'll get both of your thoughts on that Sunday slate, the 2 games that you're interested in, and then we'll wrap things up here. And I know the first one is what? The Giants and the Browns. We're looking at a total of 38.5, 39. And we've got the Browns 6.5 point favorites at home. But boy, these Giants are bad, Zargo. What are your thoughts on the Giants visiting the Browns?
Man, so like I touched on earlier, coming into this week, I said I got to look at the dogs. We got to find which underdogs can win outright and which ones can cover. And this one just jumped out to me. I mean, it's the largest spread on the Sunday slate. And so, kind of honed in on it, and I was looking, and I don't think this number's right. You look at what both these teams have done to this point, and when we kind of recalibrate now what we know about the opponents they've played, I don't think the Browns are that good. And I think the Giants are a little bit better than we're giving them credit for, and certainly better than we thought they'd be entering the season, right? So, I mean, last week, weird game with the Commanders. They got a kicker. They probably win that game. They definitely win that game. But I do think, I've been high on Washington coming into this season. I said they were a team to look out for in the AFC. So I think that's a strong game there. And then, yes, they got embarrassed by the Vikings week 1, but their Vikings might be a bit of a powerhouse. It might be a team to look out for in the AFC as well. Or NFC, excuse me. So, but it's the Browns I think is more important, right? They get dominated by the Cowboys. We didn't really think much of that, bit expected. Now we're assessing how, after the Cowboys got clowned by the Saints, how good are they really? And then they edge out the Jaguars last week. Clearly don't think too highly of the Jaguars anymore. So just like I said, overall, I've been impressed by Semi Brown. Deshaun is clearly not the guy. They got to figure something out in Cleveland, because long-term, it's not going to work out for them. And I like what I've seen from Jones to this point. His lack of weapons is certainly what's going to keep the Giants from being competitive in that division. But I mean, they're holding their own. And so I kind of like what they got, what Dable has going on there, even if he himself kind of makes some stupid decisions. He's got a good team there. And so I think getting a touchdown here, I'll gladly take the points on that one. Might even throw a quarter unit on the Giants to win outright. I just think they have, the tools to beat this Cleveland team that I think is just sorry.
Okay, Spread, your game that you want to talk about on Sunday.
Can I jump in on there?
Yeah, please do.
I've been having fun on these shows this week. I've been arguing with everyone. And
Good,
I'm on the
argue with
complete
Zargo.
opposite side here of JC Zargo. I think too much is going to be made of Deshaun Watson here. I'm just pulling up my projections right now because I feel like I had a pretty big edge to the Browns. Yeah, I got the Browns winning by 8.5 points here. And I do not trust the New York Giants at all. I think that this is one of the worst teams in the league, and this might be one of the few games where the Browns actually do have the quarterback advantage. I think Daniel Jones is completely broken, and even if he's not, we're looking at a team, we're talking about this all over the place, Holden, and that's why even tonight with the Patriots, I don't want to downgrade these teams for having bad offensive lines because other than the Chargers and the Lions, everybody has a bad offensive line. I talked about it in the article that you mentioned earlier this week in sports betting. With the reduced practice time, these offensive linemen are not developing like they did when they're rookies. They come out of a lot of these teams are running these spread offenses. All they learn how to do in college is pass block.
Yeah.
So they have to learn how to run block in their rookie year. This has become tough for every single team in the NFL. So now I have one unit. If we're talking about the 4 units, offense and defense on both sides of the ball, the Cleveland Browns defense is so much better than any other unit that's going to be on the field. And even if Deshaun is terrible, the Giants have not shown that they can stop the run. This seems to be an organization that's really in turmoil. And I think one of the issues that they have is they already know internally that they made a mistake with this Daniel Jones contract. They're going to run him out here for probably about 9 or 10 games, and then they'll probably sit him because they're not going to want to pay that injury guarantee that would kick in if he's injured towards the end. They're going to want to get off him right away. I think the Giants will be in the market for a new quarterback, and I think they will be drafted in the top 5. I think this is one of the worst teams in the league, and even though I do think Daboll is a fairly good coach, they've ran off, a good defensive coordinator in Martindale because they can't get along. Now I don't trust this defense at all. And even if you are a good defensive coordinator, I don't know if they have the talent to make things work. And that's going to go into a game that I'm talking about a little bit later. Being a genius defensive coordinator does not help if you don't have the proper pieces to work with. So I'm sorry to say it, JC. I'm opposite with you here. I'm laying it with the Browns.
How on earth are you going to tell me Deshaun Watson's a better quarterback than Daniel Jones when right now their numbers are like identical?
Because Daniel Jones just went against the worst secondary in the NFL, which allowed him to inflate his stats. Look what he did against the Vikings. The completion percentage allowed, the Washington is at 70%. The next lowest team is 55%. I mean, this is a tier in its own of defensive ineptitude that Washington's throwing out there when it comes to covering the pass. So Daniel Jones was able to look okay last week. Now he goes back to playing an NFL team. He's going to be in trouble.
Right. Their stats are almost identical, but look at who they're throwing to. Look at their weapons. Their numbers are identical when Deshaun Watson has Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, and David Njoku. Like, you give that to Daniel Jones, and his stats can be so much better.
He has by far the best player. Malik Neighbors is 5 times better than anyone that Cleveland's throwing out there.
Then Amari Cooper?
Yes.
Get out of here.
Hey, I'm here for the hot takes.
And then also, too, so again, obviously, we're talking about head-to-head in the game, sure. The weapons are important. But if we're talking, take the best roster in the NFL, probably San Francisco. If you had San Francisco, would you rather have Deshaun Watson or Daniel Jones under center?
Probably Deshaun Watson.
What? That's crazy. Because I think in principle and fundamentals, I don't think Daniel Jones is a terrible quarterback. I think he's just on a terrible team.
I think you're both screwed, no matter which quarterback you take.
We're kind of arguing over.
You're asking what's worse.
Debating the two political options we have this year.
Yeah, I think shit worse or human shit worse. They're both horrible.
No. I think Jones is in league with Ryan Tannehill with the Titans, or even a Jimmy G. I think he's a decent service. I put him there with Joe Flacco, serviceable quarterback. No. He's not going to put you over the edge. He's not a difference maker. He's not a game changer. But I think he's an intelligent quarterback with decent skills that, if you gave him a stacked roster, I think you'd be fine.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't go there with you, buddy. I can't go there with you. I'm sorry. But they're both garbage. I think that's it. They're both out of a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being a good quarterback, a great quarterback. They're both 1.5.
I'd say, they're both probably around 2.5, right? Because Bryce Young's the 1.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the scale. That's the bottom of the scale, right? And then we'll move them up a little bit.
I think Marty's talking to you, Zargo. Relax, bro.
He could be talking to me. I mean,
I mean, I'm going to say he's talking to Zargo because to say one of these guys is better than the other, they both look like they're debacles. Marty Riggs taking Watson over Jones.
Deshaun can't run an offense. He doesn't know the whole problem they're struggling in Cleveland is because he can't run Stefanski's offense.
Neither can Daniel Jones. What good quarterback throws to one receiver 66% of the targets? I mean, the guy he's a mess. Wandale's a good receiver. Throw it to Wandale once in a while. It's like they've got some decent skill position players. They got nobody to throw it to them. Zargo, that's just my thoughts, though. Okay, that's it. Bryce Moss just got the free week monthly subscription. Needs some winners. Well, go to the spreadsheet, buddy. Go to nukethehouse.com. Click on picks. You got the spreadsheet there, and you'll see it. And make sure you turn on your notifications for Discord. That's how you're going to get the live betting notifications. You can watch the free show, but if we're not doing a free show or we're doing different picks, turn on those Discord notifications, okay? And you can do what Bryce did. And welcome, Bryce. Welcome to the winners. Bryce went to nukethehouse.com, subscribed, clicked on a monthly plan, typed in the code Nuke NFL, and then he got the free week. We didn't charge him yet. He's going to come back, though. There's no question. Smash the like button. Let's get the spreads game. Saints and Eagles. Hey, Zargo, feel free to just poo-poo all over spreads thoughts here, even if you don't believe them, okay? Let's hear this one.
Can I ask Saints one more question?
Yeah, not about Daniel Jones.
So just given how sharp Vegas's lines have been these past few weeks, and you said you had, like 8.5 on this game on your projections?
Uh-huh.
Is that enough? I mean, like, have your projections been in line to the point? Because to me, if you're right there with Vegas, like, that's not enough of an edge for me to be, like, confident in that thing. Are you just
and that's fair enough, right? Because every single one of these 6-point dogs that's won outright, obviously, I've had them pretty close to the numbers.
Okay.
So I would say that is a fair argument. And I think it goes back to my earlier statement, kind of my same problems when I had for the 2023 NBA season with all these people out, because I mentioned it in my article this week in sports betting. They're not playing enough. They're going from just walking around in shorts and t-shirts to getting hit at full level by guys that are 6'5", 275 pounds, and have the cleanest HGH that we've ever seen. And so their bodies simply cannot hold up, which does make it tough to handicap. I think it makes it fun for the consumer, though, because everybody.
That's it. Spread. You beat Spread so bad in the argument that he froze, but now he's back, and now he's going to beat you in the argument. You froze for just a second, Spread. Let's wrap this up so we can get the other picks.
All right, yeah. Let's go to my next game, Holden.
Because remember, we're on through the end of the game tonight. Like, we're not stopping.
Okay. Well, then we can take our time. We can argue about this game for another hour.
With you. We're not doing that.
We'll spend a whole hour on Browns Giants.
No, spread. We're doing Eagles Saints. You know, I looked at the team total here for the Saints, which I think is interesting. Anyways, right now it's a 49.5 total. The side is 2.5 point favorites for the Saints at home. And then I'm looking at the Saints team total here. Over 24.5 is minus 30. Over 26.5 is minus 105. 27.5 is plus 130. I mean, they're just pricing these guys up to where you really got to lay a heavy number to go over the Saints total. What do you think about the game total, which opened at 47, hit 50 earlier today, back down to 49.5?
All right, Holden. And like I said, I came in here to upset the apple cart and make some arguments. A great show yesterday that you, Keg, and Gabe Morency did. And I had a good time. And you know what? Keg's spot on about 95% of the stuff, right? So I'm not going to come on here and tell you, hey, I agree with them. I saw his power rankings today. I'm in line with them on most every single team. So take this for a grain of salt before I say this. But the team that we have the biggest discrepancy on is the Philadelphia Eagles. And I understand his point about the line move, but I'm here to, and I didn't necessarily bet the Saints at this price, but I actually think that this line move is warranted. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, we saw how bad this offense looked without A.J. Brown. They should have blown that Falcons team out. And without A.J. Brown out there, the way that these rules have changed, the way that these guys need their top receivers, especially, as I talked about yesterday, these zones getting tighter, You need guys that can make catches in coverage. Guys are not going to be wide open anymore. This is where guys that can make contested catches, turn that 50-50 ball into an 80-20. That's where guys like A.J. Brown are so important. So, okay, we lose a point for him. Normally, I'd say that's too much for a wide receiver. Not in this new NFL, not in this situation. But where I really am having problems backing this Philadelphia Eagles as the top team is the losses on the defensive side of the football. How did the Eagles win? What is the core of this Eagles resurgence that we've seen since 2017? It was their ability to win at the line of scrimmage with their front four. They didn't need to drop in pressure. And I had never thought that they had this great secondary. The defensive line was getting to the quarterback so fast that it didn't matter. You know, I could cover back there. I lost my Patricia pencil. When the defensive line is getting there so fast, you can get away with average or below average secondary. Holden, I'm not seeing it with this defensive line right now.
Okay.
They've lost a lot of players from this great Eagles team. So right now, let's just look at it. This is an Eagles team. Let's go back to, I think it was last October. They're 2-7 straight up in their last 9 games. 2-7 straight up. So you're telling me they don't deserve to be 2.5-point dogs on the road in New Orleans, which is one of the toughest places to play in football? I'm not saying run out and bet the Saints, but I'm just saying I think that he has the Eagles rated too highly, and I think this line move was correct. I really like everything that Saints were doing, and when we talk about things that are happening here on the line of scrimmage, I can't pronounce his name. It's like Talise Fuaga, right? He's a rookie tackle. He's yet to give up a quarterback pressure. One of the best draft picks we've seen in a while. All these teams are starved for offensive line, and once again, they've hit on the offensive line. Also, the Saints have one of the best defenses in football. I definitely think that they're a top 5 defense. I think that they can get it done at all 3 levels. So I just wanted to come on and say I'm not advocating betting on the Saints, but to me, it's Saints or pass. I think this line move is correct, and I do think Keg has the Eagles slightly overrated in his power rankings.
Whoa, okay. That's a little bit of a topic of discussion in the Discord, too, I will say. I don't know if he does yet. I'm not ready to drop the Eagles, and I think it'll be interesting. If they could take out the Saints here on the road, all of a sudden that's looking pretty good.
Everything's fixed, right? And we talk about how one game can turn everything around. Look at the Las Vegas Raiders and the Atlanta Falcons.
Spread. If they win that game and Sirianni and Kellen Moore act competent, are we talking about them not being where they are? I mean, this is no, right? Right, Zargo?
I think you would still have the same issues. You only beat the Atlanta Falcons, so I still don't rate that highly at home. I don't know. Like I said, this team was built on the strength of its defense, and they don't have it. Go ahead, JC.
I was kind of agreeing with everything. So, Spread and I got in. I should say Tyler and I got into it with Spread on Monday because we don't think the Saints are that good. However, after what we saw on Monday, I'm thrilled to lay 2.5 in New Orleans against the Eagles. Right, that game had me on full tilt. I had a horrible weekend. So I get off work, I go to the bar, I'm watching the game. I had the -5.5, and then I went all spread on the -7. I'm hoping for a touchdown. They kick the field goal, minute and a half left. I'm thinking I'm good. Kirk Cousins in prime time, I'm fine. Then he drives downfield. I was beside myself. I think Philly is trash now. So I don't think New Orleans is that good. I'm not sold on them. I don't really know what they are, but I'm more than happy to lay 2.5 points. However, even if the Eagles go into New Orleans and win, I'm more thinking, I guess the Saints are trash. There is no outcome in this game that would make me restore my faith in Philly.
Spread, what's your best bet?
All right, let's move on to my favorite team, Holden.
Hold on a second. What's your best bet from Philly and the Saints then?
Oh, Saints -2.5.
Okay, Saints -2.5.
And in fact, I kind of like the team total a little better. Okay. Because if I'm wrong about this game, it's because the Eagles, who I still think have a very strong offense, are able to score on the Saints defense. And maybe I've overrated the Saints defense. I also like the Saints team total over. I do not trust this Philadelphia defense at all. I love what Kubiak's done here. And this Saints have a balanced offense. And I talked about great offensive lines. I mean, they might be in their 3rd, 4th, 5th, one of these top offensive lines. I think they can get it done through the air and on the ground. We saw what Kamara was able to do against the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe they're not as good as we think, but I still think they got a better defense than the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles definitely don't have a Michael Parsons. that they have to deal with. They don't have an elite player like that anymore. So I like the Saints, and I like their team total over.
All right, you guys, I got to keep you guys on for the rest of the season. You can't agree on anything, and that's just beautiful. Spread, ice cream or chocolate chip cookies?
Cookies.
Zargo?
Yeah, I'm actually cookies too.
You're a cookies guy? Yeah, ice cream all day. All right, spread. Both of you guys like this Raiders-Panthers game. We'll go to spread first, though, and then Zargo, you can tell him he's wrong about everything. But this is a game that Keg is on, and he has made a couple plays in this game. I like both plays a lot. So just so you know that. And again, if you haven't signed up for the free week, what are you waiting for? NukeTheHouse.com. Subscribe. Monthly plan. Won't charge you. Use the coupon code Nuke NFL, NUKE-NFL. I'm going to say it a million times as a free show. I'm going to plug the site as much as I can. Home of winners here. So we've got, this is interesting. Okay. So we've seen some 5.5s, 4.5s with the Raiders and the Panthers. This is the next game we're going to discuss. This game is in Las Vegas, the home opener for the Raiders. Spread. You gave a best bet today in your article this week in sports betting. So I like that. This game opened 6.5. Actually, you saw 7 because Bryce Young was starting. So the look or the opening line on Sunday was 7. Raiders -7. Then Andy Dalton's announced, goes down to 5.5. Went down to 4.5 briefly this morning at FanDuel, but quickly went right back up to 5.5 spread. So 5.5 is the spread. The total is, I mean, for a 5.5 point spread to have a 39.5, 40 total, it's pretty low. Talk to me here. What's the favorite bets? How do we attack this game on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, similar to tonight's game, but I'm going on an opposite side here. I do think, okay, first of all, Bryce Young's probably not that good, but I think he's being unfairly scapegoated for just the issues of the franchise as a whole. This team is not hitting on draft picks. They're trading away their best players for draft picks. Then they're whiffing on those draft picks. They've had a coaching carousel. I know that we love Dave Canales. Maybe he's getting some undeserved credit, right? Everyone says, oh, he turned around Geno Smith. Well, he was the quarterback's coach. It's not like he was the offensive coordinator when that happened. So that just seems like a little, I'm not guilt by association, but praise by association here. Now he's left Tampa Bay. Does Baker look any worse to you? Does Baker look lost without Dave Canales leading the way for him? No, I think the Tampa Bay Bucks look pretty good on offense too. So, Baker's a guy that I think was unfairly maligned due to trying to play through that injury the last year of the Browns and putting all that horrible tape out there. Baker's a pretty good quarterback. So while Canales does deserve credit, I don't think that he's the sole reason. So people are coming in thinking that Canales is this quarterback whisperer, this quarterback savior. I'm not even saying that he's not a good coach, but I just do think that this idea that he's able to take anything and turn it into a great quarterback might be a little overrated here. So now we get to find out if Bryce Young really was the sole problem for the team, because that's what the Panthers fans and that's what this line seems to suggest to me. 2 points for Andy Dalton. And what year is it, Holden? Oh, 2024. That seems absolutely wild to me. It's weird being a Raiders fan and starting Gardner Minshew. I'm actually going to a game with the quarterback advantage, so I better enjoy that while it lasts. It's not going to happen too often. And it's really a good test for this new look Panthers offensive line. I do want to give the Panthers credit. They did attempt to make things easier for Bryce Young. They did invest in their offensive line in the offseason. However, is it going to be enough when I don't think this defense is good at all? I don't think they have done well at the skill position. They completely missed on Mingo last season. I believe that they missed on Leggett. And if he is going to be good, it probably won't be good until next year like Quentin Johnston. So that's going to help me here in week 3. It's going to be a good opportunity for the Raiders. And they showed that they can get things done. That was a great win against Baltimore. And my favorite thing about backing this team this week is while Antonio Pierce may not be the X's and O's genius that Dave Canales is, I don't think that he lets these guys let down. I think this is what you like about having a guy like Pierce in there, a quote-unquote tough guy, right? A guy that's really getting fired up and more of a motivational coach than a strategic coach. I think these guys will be ready to play. It is their home opener. They're coming off a big win, and they've got so many more weapons on the offensive end. I think that we're going to find out that Bryce Young was unfairly scapegoated, and then this franchise is in a tier of its own, number 32, the worst franchise. Maybe they turn it around, but it's not going to be this season. Give me the Las Vegas Raiders.
No, I'm with you. I've seen too many quarterbacks go to bad organizations, and then either the quarterback's ruined or he has some success elsewhere. I think Cleveland is number one, right? Look what's happened to Baker. Later on in his career, the at the time the Redskins with RG3 just completely ruined that kid. Just you go to a bad organization that can't develop quarterbacks. It's almost impossible.
Carson Palmer could have been a Super Bowl winner if he went somewhere else.
Yeah,
I mean, how many years did he waste with Cincinnati?
I agree with you. All right, Zargo, let's get your thoughts on this Panthers Raiders game in Vegas, and then we'll get out of here.
I mean, as great a content as it would be to tell you I'm taking the 5,
Mm-hmm.
that's just not what's happening here.
That's too bad. I was getting ready for round 2.
I will defend, my home team and say I don't think it's a terrible organization. I mean, look at the success they had with Cam Newton, Jake Delhomme. Like, there's,
But
they got a new owner now, don't they?
Yeah, that was Richardson.
That was a different guy.
He's long gone.
Still, I don't think they quite yet. I can be proven wrong. I don't think they belong in league with, the Redskins and the Browns and all that. Regardless, but that's not what we're talking about. We're going to talk about week 3. And in week 3, this is an insult to the Las Vegas Raiders that they're only favored by 5 points at home. What are we doing? And this Panthers team has nothing going for them. The Raiders, I mean, they're a team on the rise. They're a team we got to look out for. They're a team that's probably going to make the playoffs. As Fred said, home opener in Vegas. And they're only getting 5? They're only laying 5? This makes no sense. The only question here is how far do we move the line? I'm thinking alt spread. As I've talked about with looking for underdogs this week, right? Every favorite I bet and I lose, I'm going to be kicking myself for, except for this one. Like, this is one I'll do it. I'll put all the money on the Raiders, and if somehow they lose or don't cover, I'll sleep just fine. I think this is crazy. I don't know where this number is coming from. I think starting Dalton is a terrible choice. I really don't know what you benefit from that. Yes, you might get a couple more wins, but I don't. I think
it'll be a good referendum on Bryce. If Dalton comes in and the offense looks serviceable, we can say, hey, it was Bryce Young, right? Like,
that's fair.
So I do think it's a good referendum. And at what point do we Bryce has got to get back to the practice field. He's got to rebuild some confidence. So I'm not against the Dalton move. I just don't think he's worth 2 points.
Definitely not. And he'll probably make a few more plays than Bryce Young could, but that's because he's young, right? Like, I don't know why we're not going to give him this experience instead of just maybe sneaking out another win or 2 by having Dalton under center. I don't know, obviously, how long they're going to do this, but just in week 3, I don't know. I really don't get it. This is a terrible move. So again, I ask you, Fred, how far are we moving this line? -10?
I don't know. I don't know how far I want to take it.
I just say this. Go look at a Raiders running back. I watched Antonio Pierce's press conference. Then I watched the coach speak index on X. If you don't know that, they tell how often the coach tells the truth. Antonio Pierce tells the truth a lot, and I think that Zamir White's going to touch the ball a lot because Antonio Pierce wants him to. You can attack that prop however you want to, but that's just where I'm going with this game. All right, we've discussed it enough.
I just feel like it's either going to be either they don't cover or they blow them out. So let's throw a unit on the -5, and then let's throw third of a unit on -8, -10, -12 or something.
All right. We're laddering aside. That's what we're laddering then. And that's fine. You could do that. All right, Spread, give us your best bet, buddy. What's your best bet? Thursday night football. You got to give it again, and then you can get at. Is that a Meow Wolf shirt? Did I just notice you have a
Meow Wars? It's like Star Wars, but
the
there's
Cat
cats.
Wars thing.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I probably should have put a different one on, but I was running late.
Do you have a cat, Spread?
Yes, I have 2.
See? Keg, screw you. Guys with cats, not betas. Studs. Yes,
yeah, I don't know why he hates cats so much. They're so chill.
I don't know. He doesn't like he hates a lot of things. One thing he doesn't hate is winning money, though, and he wins us a lot of money, so that's good.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right, best bet tonight. One more time, Spread.
All right, give me the New England Patriots. It sucks that it's +6 right now, but I'm going to stick with my side. A half point shouldn't move you off the side completely. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. Total of 38.5. Give me the +6.
Bryce Moss, can't trust the cat. You can trust the cat. I adopted a 14-year-old cat. She's 16 and a half now. She goes for walks. She's the best. Anybody says you can't trust the cat, fafu. All right.
What are they trusting him with?
I don't know. Zargo, what do you got, pal?
I got a Babu right back to you.
Because you don't like the cats, right? Is
no,
that your deal?
No, I got two big dogs.
I love big dogs. I'm a dog guy.
Yeah.
But don't hate on cats just because you love dogs.
Stop it. You hate dogs.
You can love big women. You can love skinny women. You can love dogs. And you can love cats. You can love it all, Zargo.
I have no love for cats.
What about big women?
There's some nice looking big women out there.
What about small women?
For sure.
Okay.
Matt, if I'm dead, I want my cat to feast on me. What do I need this body for anymore?
No question.
I'm not worried about
Zargo,
that.
What's your best
for my
bet
cat
tonight?
for being resourceful?
We've gone into the Netherlands of this.
We got 6 more hours to kill.
Yeah, please. Yeah, we do have 6 more hours before we go live for the game. All right, what do you got for us, Zargo? Best bet tonight.
Ramondre Stevenson over 16.5 rushing attempts, +105.
Beautiful. All right, everybody. One more time. NukeTheHouse.com. If you're not a subscriber, all you got to do is sign up. We're going to give you a week for free. You don't have to buy the monthly pass. All you got to do is go to NukeTheHouse.com, click subscribe, click on a monthly plan, put the code NUKENFL in, NUKENFL. You'll get a free week. It'll be great. We won't charge you. My sense is after the week, you're going to go, oh, I kind of want to sign up for the monthly plan, maybe even the yearly plan. All right, I'm going to put the graphic up now because I also have to hit the music. Zargo, thank you very much for hopping on. Spread, thank you very much for hopping on. I'm Kush. Let's keep nuking the house.